Go! Welcome to the show. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me, cause it's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Let's get a topic straight. Let's get things good. Let's do everything that we should. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Hope y'all doing well. It's back, your boy back again. Take a Project Open Mic. Thank y'all for joining us again for another episode. Tonight's episode is going to be different, but hey, we're going to be talking about some stuff about the media as usual. First of all, I want to thank everybody out there for joining in. See my lovely face on the screen. Hope y'all doing well. We have I want to give a shout out to all the people who are joining from Twitch at Project Open Mic, YouTube at Project Open Mic, Facebook, Nico, You Now, You Live, Tempo FM, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor. Again, everybody, I want to thank y'all for joining in tonight's discussion and going from there. Also, I want to thank everybody out there who have been watching the Straight No Chasers daily. I've been getting some really good views and stuff on that. So again, if you want to check out Straight No Chasers daily, the new thing, you can go to YouTube or you can go to Tempo FM. Again, I'm gonna start putting stuff also on through Stitcher, Spotify, all the other stuff like that. We're gonna put it on those. So again, if you on YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get the newest video when it drops, and add your 2 cents to the whole conversation. Again, it might be something that it could turn into a conversation or a full show like how this is for Project Open Mic as well. But again, I want to thank everybody for coming through and coming in. Right now, we're gonna be we had basically the State of the Union, so I just want to touch on that for a bit before we go into what we about tonight's show. And if you read in the description on there, of course, and if all the stuff I just said with the links, you can go down to the description if you have a description, and it should be links to all those extra platforms that you could do if those are preferred platforms, or you want to share with other people. So that way, again, like, subscribe, and share on any platform that you hear Project Open Mic. Help the channel grow, help the news grow, help the message out there go. Okay. Now I want to state something because it might sound like, again, something, it might sound one-sided again. So let me put it this way: there's nothing more I hate than a Republican and a Democrat. I mean, I hate both. I don't like both parties. Both parties have problems, but one to me does more damage, but the other party does not. It does just as much damage, but just wimps and jerks and just scared back. So it might sound like, oh, I'm picking on the Democrats and stuff like that. Again, I'm only calling out what it is. And tonight's show is about the media, and we're going to talk about how the media gets to manipulate and you don't catch on to a lot of stuff. And sadly, social media have a grip on our youth. 1, 2, social media has a bigger grip on our females than our young. TikTok is in America is socially driven by women. There are more women on TikTok doing more videos, more stuff than men. Sad, but it's true. And it is, and of course, TikTok has become more of a, if you use, okay, so I don't insult anybody. If you're using it for good and chilling and doing all kind of stuff, I'm not against that, okay? I don't all kind of stuff. But if you, but it is a cesspool. Just like Twitter is a cesspool. I ain't say it was, it still is. I'm not a part of Twitter. I'm not a part of TikTok because of just the certain things that happen in there. But a lot of people are so driven, and including our youth, are so driven to social media to do certain stuff. That's why we have cyberbullying, which basically is crazy that it drives people to do death, killing, bully people. All you got to do is turn off. All you got to do is just turn off the screen, but people don't want to do that. And that literally is kind of sad. It's very sad that that's the situation we are in now. So, and we've been programmed from since let's just say we've been programmed from since the 60s to see how a lot of things have gone awry, and it's not good. It really is not good, and it sucks. But I want to just point out certain stuff. But before that, like I said, let's do a State of the Union, just a little touch on it, and then get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's show. Because I know a lot of people really did not watch the State of the Union. And to be honest, the State of the Union is not good. Inflation is crazy. Gas is going back up again. Inflation is bad. Um, Military right now is not doing great. And again, I've talked about this situation again. We traded Brittany Griner for a guy who was called this, you know, I forgot what to call the guy who was a oh yeah, the dealer of death. And as I said before, they know what they're doing because I don't catch this. You gave, I'll say it slowly so people understand. You gave Russia back a guy who can find weapons and amass weapons and do all this stuff. And him himself, I showed a video in the past. Him himself said that it's a joke, that the American culture is a joke now because they believe men is women, women's men, all this other stuff that he says a joke. This is a man who don't care about stuff. But here's the funny part about it: we're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. We just gave a guy back to Russia who's fighting Ukraine, who can get weapons so he could fight Ukraine. That we're giving billions of dollars. That does not make logical sense. I know it does not make sense, but I get. But the warmongering machines, the military industrial complex, they loved it. They loved it, even though on paper it makes no sense. Why would I give the enemy that I'm trying to, the enemy of my ally, a weapons dealer? Hmm? That is weird itself. I don't know why we would do that, but it makes no sense. But I digress. So let's check out the choose somebody else's lens. I give to that, but again, nobody really watched it, so I'm just gonna do it this way. Sorry.
If you try anything to raise the cost of precision jobs, I will veto it.
What?
The cost of what?
What?
If you try anything to raise the cost of precision jobs, I will veto it.
Wait. Again, what did he said?
Veto it. Autocracy has grown weaker. I will veto it.
Veto what?
Autocracy has grown weaker. Now, cost of precision jobs, I will veto. If you try anything to raise the cost of precision jobs, I will veto it. Autocracy has grown weaker, not stronger. Name me a world leader who changed places with Xi Jinping. Name me one. Name me.
a change.
He won.
Okay, dude, just calm down. We'll get you your ice cream, okay?
Yeah.
Of course, we couldn't have a Democrat giving the State of the Union address without them perpetuating the myth that systemic racism is keeping black and brown people down because white people are secretly conspiring against them.
And we're gonna again, if you've been watching my show and you know how I do stuff again, is there systemic racism? Yes, but is why I talk about tonight's show. They put it's not the systemic racism that people's talking about. Is a way that they massage themselves into the mental slavery that we have right now. We are most black people and brown and even whites. All of them are freed, right, from slavery, because again they were white slaves too. But anyway, they were freed, but our mental minds have been enslaved. That's why a lot of these young kids. There's a story up in in Maryland. In Maryland. 23 schools have, if I can find a video later on, I'll show it. People have sued them because 23 schools in Maryland don't have anybody who could read grade level or do math at grade level. They want you stupid so you can vote for stupid stuff. The greatest thing out there, I'm sorry I gotta break it up like this. The greatest thing that America will never get destroyed from people from outside the country. No, we're too powerful of a military, but we can easily get destroyed from within. The Trojan horse was basically all this woke, stupid, arguing against each other. The male and female versus war, the blacks and whites versus war, the blacks and blacks versus war, the educated and again tribalism. Tribalism is gotten into the classism and all this stuff, fighting each other. So we don't see how the enemy has destroyed everything, and the walls inside are crumbling down, but we're not watching nothing. Anyway,
Most of us in here have never had to have the talk.
Talk of
that
what?
brown and black parents have had to have with their children.
What are you talking
Bo,
about?
Hunter, Ashley, my children.
Yo, Hunter. You mean your son who had crack and lied and you gave him a deal as a vice president and you threatened the whole country and a lot of stuff. Your son is not the paragon of good, sir.
I never had to have the talk with them.
Well, we know you had a shower with Ashley, but that's a whole other story.
I never had to tell them if a police officer pulls you over, turn your interior lights on right away.
What?
Don't reach for your license.
What?
Keep your hands on the steering wheel.
Yeah, that's what you should do. Everybody should do. And as to my lovely wife, when we first dated, we had this conversation. And I'm gonna have a conversation with my damn kid because it is stupid. Okay? Yes. You don't think white kids from the poor neighborhoods don't have the same conversation as well too? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But I want to point out this situation here too. I was I'm from the Caribbean. When I moved to St. Thomas, my mom had a conversation with me too about what to do in case of emergency. So did my sister. Why? Because it's just cops. You never know what happened. They're bad. Like as I've said, you heard me say it. Evil comes in all shapes, size, color, creed, race, occupation. Evil's evil. They're good cops, and we will talk about that not tonight though. About the whole. It's crazy how when it's funny how the 5 black cops that beat up the other black person. They're saying it's white supremacy, and I don't get it because there was no white person involved in this. Even the police chief was black, but whatever. There was black people in the Caribbean. There were cops, and there's some that's good, and there's some that's bad. And my mom still had a conversation with me. It didn't make no difference with the white stuff. So it's irrelevant. It really is. And Biden, let's not say nothing again because your son needed that talk because who's a bigger criminal than other than you and him? You are big criminals. Sorry. But let's get back to the nonsense.
Imagine having to worry like that every single time.
No.
Actually,
Actually, no. And I gotta point this out too. It's a story, and my wife could back it up, of course, and most of the people could back it up. Sorry, most people could back it up. The day I was supposed to get married, I got pulled over by a cop. Oh no! I got pulled over by a cop, and I was, oh my god, a cop, because I was driving and I was kind of late. Not kind of late. I made it, I was just I want to have to spare, but I was doing a lot of stuff on my wedding day, so I was just trying to get back up there in time to do stuff. And I drove and I was speeding, and I got pulled over. So, Joe Biden, I was scared. Oh my God, I got pulled over by a cop. And it was a white cop as that too.
No, son of a bitch.
Yeah. And I pulled over because I was speeding. I'm not going to deny it. So I got pulled over. I was speeding. My hands was there. And I would say that, and I give a tip to most people. You have phones. If you have a phone, put it in record, and you put it. You should be able to put it in camera and record, and put it in the cup holder in case of anything. Okay, that is true. I would say if you think anything, that's to put that if you can. I didn't do this because I know I was speeding. I didn't do nothing crazy. I was supposed to do it at nighttime. It was basically close to 1 o'clock in the daytime. So I got pulled over. Cop came up and taking his time, and I was like, "Come on, man, hurry up, cop, come on, whatever." And he came up and he said, I caught you speeding. I said, "Yeah, officer, yes." And I already had my registration. My license say, "Hey, you go, yeah, officer, yes, I was speeding. Yes, I was. I'm sorry, but yeah, I was speeding." I said, "He caught me. I'm trying to get to a wedding up in this place to, get with that." He said, "Okay, all right. You have a license registration? I'll hit it right here." And I gave it to him, and he walked back. And I said, "All right." And I was like, "Okay." I'm gonna have to take the ticket because I was speeding. I'm not gonna lie to the cop because that was the truth. And then he came back and he told me, did he came back with guns drawn, like Uncle Joe said? No. Did he came and called back up with a lot of people? No. Searched the car? Nope. He came, and trust me, there were times where I got some cops did some stupid stuff. I would admit to that when I've been pulled over. Okay, I got pulled over for what do you call it? My license plate light. One of my license plate balls was gone because I drove through a certain neighborhood. Yeah, and I was like, that was bogus, whatever. But he didn't put me on that. I also got pulled over in a person because I do architecture as a job, and I have a blueprint case kind of thing, and it's black and everything, and it was in the back of my back seat of my office, and the cop was like. He was said, "Oh wait, that is that like what you got back there, like a bazooka?" And he wasn't laughing, and I was like,
What? What the fuck?
"Really, a bazooka? You can search my car? Nope. You go get a warrant." He's like, "I said I'll wait here. I was going from work anyway, so go ahead. I'm not moving, but go ahead. You need a warrant. Then you can search my car and it'll be good. Go ahead and get that." He was like, "Nope, go ahead." So I had a little bad experience as well too. Okay, so I'm not denying that, but the cop came back. He said, "You know what, sir? Because you gave me, you was honest and understand. I'll give you a warning." And then I laughed and I said, "Hey, yeah, I'm the groom." He's like, "Wow, you should have told me that from the get go. I would have get you up there. I would have helped you get up there faster." I said, "It's all right, but I'm gonna drive normal speed as I can, officer." So, yeah, Uncle Joe, I didn't, that didn't happen. But there's a reason. Keep your hands on the wheel. That is true for anybody. Don't make sudden movements. For sure. That's for anybody. Don't do that.
Yeah, I think that's what's taught in driver's ed class, sir. But in case you weren't paying attention, comedian Chris Rock put together this quality PSA probably 20 years ago now, trying to help black people understand what they should do if they do get pulled over by the police.
If you follow these easy tips, you'll be fine.
Exactly.
First, obey the law.
Racist.
Laws were made for a reason. Think of them as hints. You've heard people say, man, I wouldn't do that shit if I was you.
Yep.
Well, here's some of that shit. When you see flashing police lights in your mirror, stop immediately.
Exactly.
Everybody knows, if the police have to come and get you, they're bringing an ass kicking with them. When an officer
That is wrong, but again, why make it more difficult?
approaches your car, be polite.
Polite. Yeah,
Is there a problem, officer?
exactly.
And stay in your car with your hands on the wheel.
What the do you want, mother?
Yeah, that will get your ass beat. And again, the cops should not beat you for that, but I don't know what intent you have popping out of your car. Something will happen.
Thankfully, Republicans pushed back against some of his lies, like when he claimed that they're going to be the ones who take away Social Security and Medicare.
Oh, yeah. And if you watch the State of the Union, remember, the Democrats have a plan that, oh, if you have savings, like, I'm already done figuring out I'm not going to get Social Security because it's already bankrupt. It's been bankrupt. I pay into the system, but I ain't going to get nothing. So I'm not depending on Social Security. And oh, yeah, there's a Straight or No Chasers daily coming up where a woman uses her daughter's Social Security. She's Hispanic, so it's not a black woman, but it's Social Security because she's disabled to live her life. And I'm like, that is just despicable. Even the judge was like, what? And that's one of the few judges I like to keep, use my taxpayer money to go whatever, because I like that. And you'll see it in the Straight No Chasers dailies, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at between 7 to 8 a.m. in the morning on Project Open Mic channel, on YouTube, and Tempo FM. I'm trying to get it on Spotify. Okay, but with that said, yeah.
All of you at home should know what those plans are. Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans.
You're wealthy and you ain't paying your fair share either before you became the Senate, Mr. President.
Some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority.
No, they don't want it to sunset. They need to change it. They need to up it a little bit. But most people are not gonna get their Social Security. Let's be honest.
Let me give you,
Meaning to
anybody who
end.
doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal.
The proposal was that. We already did a video about that too, about the proposal that talked about. Yes, we need to push it back. People are living longer. We need to push it back. It just is. We need to pay like people who are, again, take me out. I'm 40. People 40 and below, push that when 40 people 40 below 1980, they get Social Security at 65, at 67, at 70, It needs to, because the money's broke, and we put a lot of that money in it. And you've seen me do videos show the death clock and how much Social Security is down the tank.
Means Congress doesn't vote. Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you,
That's how to deal with a liar. Since liberals always accuse others of doing the exact same thing that they themselves are guilty of, it will be Democrats who deny Social Security payments to Americans.
Yeah.
But not all Americans, only the ones that saved
Save
for
them up.
retirement, investing in a 401k or an IRA for 30 or 40 years, and didn't live beyond their means, and didn't buy things that they didn't need with money they didn't have, and were fortunate enough to pay off their mortgage after 30 years, and have a little nest egg and home equity. Then at that point, the Democrats will say that those people already have enough money to live, and the United States is totally broke and bankrupt. And so they're not going to pay Social Security to anybody who has $100,000 in their IRA
or savings or whatever. In that regard, that is true.
Or who has paid off their house. When I first saw photos of this "I love abortion" pin floating around social media, I thought it was a meme, but it turns out that it actually is. Democrat Senator Ed Markey from Massachusetts, who wore this proudly to the State of the Union address. You could see the little heart in the O of abortion.
I'm gonna skip a little bit in this one.
To the State of the Union. Something else very strange happened, and I hope that you're not eating. Joe Biden's caretaker, Jill, appears to be in some kind of open relationship with Kamala Harris and her husband, Doug, who they call the first gentleman. I'm sorry, but American people should know what kind of strangeness is happening right on.
Holy Jesus. What is that?
No, son of a bitch!
I don't know who do this. They ain't French.
Out in the open there in Washington, D.C. We would expect this kind of degeneracy at the Grammys, but not during the State of the Union address.
Exactly.
Donald Trump then posted this video on Truth Social titled The Real State of the Union Address, and listening to just a few seconds of it, it definitely does sound like a speech that an actual president would give about the actual state of the country instead of the mumbling mess that Joe Biden presented.
Here's the real State of the Union. Over the past 2 years under Biden, millions and millions of illegal aliens from 160 different countries have stormed across our southern border.
Sure.
Drug cartels are now raking in billions of dollars from smuggling poison to kill our people and to kill our children.
True.
Savage killers, rapists, and violent criminals are being released from jail to continue their crime wave. And under Biden, the murder rate has reached the highest in the history of our country.
True.
Well, we are a collapsing empire, sadly.
Biden.
I would say modern history, not all history, but modern history. It's great. I got it. But yeah, modern times.
And the radical Democrats have wasted trillions of dollars.
That
and
is
caused
true.
the worst inflation in half a century.
That is
Real
true.
wages are down 21 months in a row.
Yep.
Gas prices have soared and are now going up
Back
much
up again.
higher than even before. And the typical American family is paying $2,200 in increased energy and food costs each year. Joe Biden's weaponized Justice Department, and I'm a victim of it.
Funny enough, but if we have any of y'all hear all the stuff, remember they went after Trump because President Trump because they had he has weapons, he had confidential documents at Mar-a-Lago. Okay, cool. Find it, do it. My thing is this: have the same energy for Biden, who has it not only in his office, not only in another office, not even at home, not only in a garage, in a vacation home. He had all these things all over the place. Media. Hey, MSNBC, CNN, all stuff. Where you at? Where you at? I say give both of them. That's the thing about it. It's like, oh, he's like, no. If y'all gonna do this for Trump, go after Trump. Go after him. I have no problem with that. Do the exact same thing for Biden. That's the thing. Keep your energy across the board.
Executing his political opponents. His administration is waging war on free speech. They're trying to indoctrinate and mutilate our children.
Oh, yeah.
He's leading us to the brink of World War III. And on top of all of that, he's the most corrupt president in American history, and it's not even close.
I wouldn't go that far. I could figure some more corrupt people as we're going to be talking about them soon.
But the good news is we are going to reverse every single crisis, calamity, and disaster that Joe Biden has created.
That's if you get elected to president, sir. The media is going to come after you like they did last time and make all kind of stuff. So I wanted to touch on that. It took a little minutes right there. So we're gonna go from the State of the Union, and we're gonna go from the State of the Union and go to what tonight's show is about, the bread and butter. So talk about the media. All right. We're gonna talk about the media and see how that has to show you how it is. This is an old clip. I've played clips from this interview itself. You can go check this out on Malcolm X. All right. Now the media has manipulated a lot of blacks to do a lot of stuff that is crazy. I think I'll end with the should I end with the music or the lesson? I'm thinking in my mind, but let's go with. I want you to see this and hear this. .
Just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players.
And nothing against those people. Those are good people, but Malcolm X has a point to point out. So I'll go back again so you go through it.
Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader.
Nope.
These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear. Usually Negroes know that when this bourgeois Negro walks through the door, he is not doing something that he's initiated himself, but he's involved in something in which the white man is the absolute author of and has sent him to the Negro community for some information. And when they give that Negro some information, usually they give him the information that they want him to take back to the white man.
Hyundai Tucson versus Honda C.
This woman is 1,000%.
Okay. There you go. So I want to talk about that is something that you heard there that Malcolm X is pointing out. He's correct. Back at the time when they were doing that, there weren't no leaders for those people. But why minorities always need leaders to do stuff? I don't get it. Respect to Rosa Parks and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and all that stuff, but we just need to do better as a black people. That's just it. We don't need no leaders. We just need to do simple things. 1, keep the fathers at home. 2, have a combined parenthood, mother and a father. Do not break up the nuclear family. 3, get off of welfare. Because again, that has messed up a lot of black people. Get off of welfare. 4, be good stewards to your children. And let them understand, hey, the world's not gonna. The world ain't gonna like you because you're black. Understandable. Get that. Good. But you gotta understand the world ain't fair, and you gotta do the best. Work hard. Do not have any kids before graduating high school, and get married and have kids. If you do that, again, it's a 75% chance that you won't live in obscene poverty. But nobody wants to talk about that. Those are the things that help the black Americans. It really is. So, in that regard, I want to keep on going to share what what he has done. And listen, and just the inconvenient truth about some stuff that nobody talks about. I'm going to pause it at a certain spot because, again, it's been proven correct so far. So let's go with the lesson.
Think about racial equality and civil rights, which political party comes to mind? The Republicans or the Democrats? Most people would probably say the Democrats, but this answer is incorrect. Since its founding in 1829, the Democratic Party has fought against every major civil rights initiative and has a long history of discrimination.
And that lady you see, which is Carol Swain, I did a video about her. You could go back and check her when she got interviewed and she talked about it. She's a woman who was born just after slavery ended and lived a horrible life at the beginning, but fought her way to become a smart, intelligent woman and a doctor. And that's just a Dr. Carol Swain. My apologies. And I talked about it last Black History Month last year. You can go back and check. You should be able to go back and check that one out.
The Democratic Party defended slavery, started the Civil War, opposed Reconstruction, founded the Ku Klux Klan, imposed segregation, perpetrated lynchings, and fought against the Civil Rights Acts of the 1950s and 1960s. Mm-hmm. In contrast, the Republican Party was founded in 1854 as an anti-slavery party Its mission was to stop the spread of slavery into the new Western territories with the aim of abolishing it entirely.
And again, I'm not saying the Republican Party that's now is greater than anything either. This is just a setup to talk about the past. So a lot of people don't even know this stuff. Again, another video I did last year. A lot of people tell, "Oh, you are a Uncle Tom." I did a video showing Uncle Tom was a hero, but people have been manipulated by media so much times, and even in that video it said so. People did not know Uncle Tom saved black people. Literally did save black people. He was the male version of Harriet Tubman before Harriet Tubman, but that was perpetrated by the Ku Klux Klan and all that stuff to make sure that story never spread.
This effort, however, was dealt a major blow by the Supreme Court in the 1857 case Dred Scott versus Sandford. The court ruled that slaves aren't citizens, they're property. The 7 justices who voted in favor of slavery, all Democrats. The 2 justices who dissented, both Republicans. The slavery question was, of course, ultimately resolved by a bloody civil war. The commander-in-chief during that war was the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, the man who freed the slaves. 6 days after the Confederate Army surrendered, John Wilkes Booth, a Democrat, assassinated President Lincoln. Lincoln's vice president, a Democrat named Andrew Johnson, assumed the presidency. But Johnson adamantly opposed Lincoln's plan to integrate the newly freed slaves into the South's economic and social order. Johnson and the Democratic Party were unified in their opposition to the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, the 14th Amendment, which gave blacks citizenship, and the 15th Amendment, which gave blacks the vote.
Voting rights.
All 3 passed only because of universal Republican support. During the era of Reconstruction, federal troops stationed in the South helped secure rights for the newly freed slaves. Hundreds of black men were elected to Southern state legislatures as Republicans, and 22 black Republicans served in the U.S. Congress by 1900.
Yep.
The Democrats did not elect a black man to Congress until 1935. But after Reconstruction ended, when the federal troops went home, Democrats roared back into power in the South. They quickly reestablished white supremacy across the region with measures like black codes, laws that restricted the ability of blacks to own property and run businesses, and they imposed poll taxes and literacy tests used to subvert black citizens' right to vote.
Sadly, right now, you could do that right now. A lot of white people will fail that test too, because a lot of these kids right now are not in. They might not use a phone. They might not use a computer, but they don't have their eyes are glossed over with a lot of stuff. Like I said before, in Maryland, none of the kids could read grade level in these schools. That's sad.
And how was all of this enforced? By terror.
Yep.
Much of it instigated by the Ku Klux Klan, founded by a Democrat, Nathan Bedford Forrest. As historian Eric Foner, himself a Democrat, notes, in effect, the Klan was a military force serving the interests of the Democratic Party.
Let's not forget Margaret Sanger as well, too. Planned Parenthood, how that got situated, and now it's most of the places around the Borchkins around black urban areas.
President Woodrow Wilson, a Democrat, shared many views with the Klan. He resegregated many federal agencies and even screened the first movie ever played at the White House, the racist film, The Birth of a Nation, originally entitled The Klansman. A few decades later, the only serious congressional opposition to the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964 came from Democrats. 80% of Republicans in Congress supported the bill, less than 70% of Democrats did. Democratic senators filibustered the bill for 75 days until Republicans mustered the few extra votes needed to break the logjam. And when all of their efforts to enslave blacks, keep them enslaved, and then keep them from voting had failed, the Democrats came up with a new strategy. If black people are going to vote, they might as well vote for Democrats, as President Lyndon Johnson was purported to have said about the Civil Rights Act. I'll have them voting Democrat for 200 years.
And I'll ask a question. Has he been proven wrong? Has he been proven wrong? For about last 70 years right now, majority of blacks who do vote, now I know not all black people vote, but majority of blacks who do vote Democrat. Majority of the people who do vote blacks are women. They vote Democrat at the 98 percentile clip. More men lately from the 2000s now, black men, and from the 2000 teens up to now, has been slowly pulling away from the Democrats. And again, I'm telling you this, you don't have to vote Republican. You can vote third party. We need to get more parties in there because I don't like the Democrat or Republican anyway. We need to get a third party in there. It really does. I'm a libertarian. Go again. If the party says something, just do something again. And you have the right to vote and not vote. That's all upright to you. That's a right that you have. But he's not been proven wrong. He said he's been correct all the time. This man up here did that. Lyndon B. Johnson, who basically Roosevelt Franklin was like, I want a great society. And they asked him, but Roosevelt knew, even though Franklin Roosevelt knew that human nature is what it's going to be, he said, yeah, we need to have a time limit on the Great Society because humans will get adapted to this and this will cause the fall on, and he was a Democrat, and he said this will cause the fall of America. I agree with Roosevelt when he said that. FDR. I agree with him on that. But if you want power, power is the power. So let's go with that.
So now the Democratic Party prospers on the votes of the very people it has spent much of its history oppressing. Yeah. Democrats falsely claim that the Republican Party is the villain, when in reality, it's the failed policies of the Democratic Party that have kept blacks down. Massive government welfare has decimated the black family. Opposition to school choice has kept them trapped in failing schools. Politically correct policing has left black neighborhoods defenseless against violent crime. So when you think about racial equality and civil rights, which political party should come to mind? I'm Carol Swain, professor of political science and law at Vanderbilt University.
And that's what I'm saying. Again, just start using your thinking me. That's why every show I said people are stupid, individuals smart. Be that smart individual. That's what it should be. But let's hear about how it broke down the education, like she just talked about, which is the major part that's messing up a lot of these black kids.
When President Lyndon Johnson launched his War on Poverty in 1964 at the University of Michigan, he said there were 3 places where we begin to build the Great Society: in our cities, in our countryside, and in our classrooms. That speech marked the beginning of more than half a century of federal spending on education programs from preschool through graduate school. Unfortunately, or perhaps predictably, the federal government's foray into the infinitely complex domain of what and how children learn has not led to better learning outcomes.
Duh.
As we explain in the Heritage Foundation's new book, Johnson's program led to what we call the not-so-great society. In early childhood education, the federal Head Start preschool program, launched as a part of the War on Poverty, has had little to no impact on parenting practices or the cognitive, social, emotional, and health outcomes of children.
And that is true, because again, you see most of these kids getting this messed up. And these videos I've done showing these kids now are fighting in school. They're fighting the teachers. And you remember the white leftist women who remember I did the story about in Chicago where they want to bring the grades down, that you could pass with a 20. So they're making you dumber. And that you should not discipline kids who are harassing and fighting other kids in the class. They're not conservative. They're not traditional. They're left progressive women who's doing this. And they say they're doing this for black people. And you see what he has produced.
Through 12, the achievement gap between disadvantaged students and their more affluent peers remains the same today as it was in 1964.
It's grown. I don't think it's grown.
Affluent students are still 4 years ahead in learning. And in higher education, 5 decades after the Great Society got the federal government into the business of guaranteeing student loans, Americans hold more than $1.6 trillion in outstanding student loan debt.
Exactly. Oh, this is to help. This is supposed to help. These degrees are ridiculous, and they don't do not a dang thing, one. And two, the money. The money.
And the irony? 44% of recent college graduates are in jobs that don't require a college degree.
Exactly.
So what's to be done? In education, the first step is a bold one. Get Washington out.
Yes.
Education should return to its roots in the earliest days of the Republic, when parents played a central role in choosing how and where their kids learned.
Exactly.
And when students, if they choose to go to college, paid their way without making the Faustian bargain of taking a federal loan. In other words, the Department of Education should no longer be a cabinet-level agency.
No, it shouldn't.
Our new book devotes an entire section to solutions at the pre-K, K-12, and post-secondary levels. Heritage has solutions to help lawmakers and education officials at all levels.
Yeah, but you don't have it. But the solution doesn't give them power or money. Come on.
But more importantly, we offer ways to help parents and students and give every child great learning options that prepare them for life.
And that's true. But again, the Great Society is what it is. You see what it is in that situation. Okie dokie. All right. Let's get down to an degree again. I had another clip that I should have where it was listening to I could get a synopsis. It's very easy before we get into the last part of this, which is the social media. But the synopsis was I was listening to Fox Soul. Fox Soul is basically not Fox. It's just, again, I did a video about Fox News itself, so people need to go watch that because again, it's not as right wing and as people thought. They're the same. The people who are on the news and everything is in the same problem with the Democrats is, and most news anchors and media vote 95% Democrats. So even the Fox News anchors and stuff like that, they vote Democrats too. So it's not that's not how the situation set up. But I want to point this out that they were doing something about a black man. Talking about that, and they were talking bad about this black man, and this black man didn't do no wrong or nothing. And they brought in two. They're talking about this black one saying, "Hey," which I said the same thing too. I don't care if you're a man or woman, get your passports. Like I'll say this: America has better opportunities, and you could do great stuff in America. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that America is the asshole country as people think it is and whatever. Because again, it has its problems. Yes. I came up here and got my degrees and made my money, do my stuff in America because I stay out of trouble. Yes, I'm a nerd, but I stay out of trouble. I mind my business. And my mind is just not to stick on certain things. My wife could tell you, you tell me something, I said, okay, but I must still research it just in case. And again, if I'm proven wrong, I'm the first one to say, hey, I was wrong. I don't have that stubborn head like, oh yeah, no, I was wrong. But right now, like I said, he in this one just get a passport to go to other countries to see, hey, how other countries are, how different cultures are. Round out your emotions, round out your thinking, cognizance, everything. Yeah, there's great things that happen in other countries. And that's why a lot of those other countries where people left to come over here, they do great things too. There's a lot of people who came from other countries and did, men and women, that did great things in America because they have more freedom. But they do have a more traditional setback in those other countries. And nothing is perfect. And evil comes in all countries and all countries and all people. That's all I'm saying. So he was basically passport when a country. He said, hey, I tried my best. He's a young man, tried my best to have a relationship with women in America, but the modern woman has gone crazy and she's not that, so he went to other country. And he just said, hey guys, get your passport, travel around, see what you do. Be careful because again, the movement's called Passport Bros. it is a problem. It is crazy because there are women out there who will be succubus and really just do you wrong as well to in those other countries. Just giving you for instance, okay? Just giving that for instance. But another thing is that another thing in that situation is this. He wasn't saying nothing bad about people or whatever. So they had two women came on talking about and they had to talk about the guy. Okay, they talked about the guy, but this they of course came up with the whole thing about he's going there to be a pervert and be a sex trafficker and all that stuff like that, which he is not. Are there people who do that stuff? Yes, I'm not denying it, but the majority is not that. And the thing about it is, she was saying they're only doing this because this sexual this or whatever. Come to find out, one of the woman, she has an OnlyFans page and all do the exact same thing. Basically, be sexualized. She sexualized herself to make money. I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. Fox News, Fox Soul, really? You're gonna get a woman who's gonna talk about sex stuff and she does the sex stuff herself? Knocking down again glass stones, man. Glass houses throw stones. Don't do that. But now I want to get into the young people, and we will end it off with this. Again, I started TT Records in 2022. I've done music over 20 years. It's 20th anniversary of me doing music. I've done it consistently, no, but 20 years. I've got awards. I've gotten platinum plaques and everything. Have I got a Grammy? No, because I don't want to sell my soul. Looked at the Grammy where you see, look at Sunday with the Grammys. Ugh, I ain't selling my soul for that. But shout out to my boy Timothy Tyron Thomas. He grew up in St. Thomas. We were classmates and everything. He's also he got a Grammy because he wrote songs for Lizzo, and there's another person also who wrote a song again. So shout out for them for getting their Grammys. Good, they did great. But again, if I don't get a Grammy in my lifetime, I'm all right. I'm not gonna sell my soul. I have been around people. I have made songs and beats for people who have gotten Grammys, and I'm good with that. But I want to talk about in that regard. But again, so I've done music for that long. I have not done crazy stuff with that. I've made my money off of it. My music has got me through college. I have paid other people to become good. I have some artists become name artists in other countries. Not name like again Grammys and all that stuff, but did good and they make music as a career, and I'm proud of that. That's why I wear this. This is TT Records. That's why I wear this. I had that from since high school and did music, and I'm enjoy this. But music has come crazy now. I'm not the best rapper out there. Never said I was, never gonna be the best rapper out there. Okay? Or singer. I'm not that either. But I try my best to have my own soul. Even one of my last album, Instant Classic, you can go get it on Amazon. Shuffle Lines Instant Classic, you get it and help a brother out still. But it came out in 2012. That was the last platinum album we had in 2012. The situation was the company Sony was like, hey, we want you to sound like this and this, and they didn't want to do the tour stuff like that. I said, all right, you know what? I took my own hard-earned money and made an album called Instant Classic. Went a different way than what the trend was. It went platinum. We made money, and a lot of people made a lot of money off of it. Okay, good. Now we got to a point. Now we have something called mumble rap. I don't know what these kids are listening to a lot of these days, but that's their thing. I'm an old fogey, as my grandma would say, so I'm out of it, whatever. But I would like to understand what the people are saying. It's just me, okay? And sometimes they rap fast and stuff, and I catch on to it. I got that. But I want to show you something. This video, shout out to this. I'm gonna give the shout out to the brother here. NOC. I want to give a shout out to that, because of what's going on in this. I'm going to show you how the media manipulates people. Okay, we're up to 17,741 people joining in. Thank you guys. Again, if you guys could go over to the YouTube or to Spotify, like, share, just again, subscribe, hit the notification bell, help a person out. Okay, that's all I was saying. Help a person out. I'm doing this in that regard. But anyway, I want to prove a point because you know me. I always come with them. I always come with the receipt. Okay, that's just how that's how I do it. Because right now, the social media and music has really come together, and you could see the manipulation going on. So let me play you this video about how rappers and hip hop basically now is basically a lie, and I could say that myself too. And well, let's see for yourself.
They're exposed for their fake chains, their fake personas, or their fake lifestyles. They still believe that portraying a life of having an absurd amount of fame and money is the only way fans will look up to them. And honestly, they're not wrong.
That this girl tattooed Drake on her forehead. The guy who tatted it is a fucking asshole, though. I will tell you that.
That is true. That is true. But these young kids are getting, that's what I said. They manipulate you.
Fortunately, a lot of brain dead fans get hypnotized by the flashy chains and big wads of cash, so they end up literally worshiping these rappers, making them feel like they're more than just humans, making them feel like gods.
Who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A god!
Which ultimately gets them caught up in a heightened sense of reality where they're being rewarded for portraying a lifestyle to the world that they don't actually live.
That is true. And I could tell you this right now. Like I said, I've been around. There's only one celebrity in mind that I would think is celebrity that I would ever geek out or whatever. Well, two, but the other person has died. And again, it ain't Jesus Christ. Because whatever that's too. Would have been Shigeru Miyamoto for everything. I wouldn't say geek out, but I would be like, whoa, cool. And see if we could talk to him, whatever. That's the only person I would be like a little whatever. I met Jay-Z. Been around Rihanna. Met Jay-Z. Rest in peace, DMX. DMX. Been around those kind of cats. Twali Kweli, Raw Digger, Busta Rhymes, all these people. I've been around those people. Talk to them, have a conversation with them. I talk to them just like I'm talking to you right now. I don't be like, oh, I don't do that. No. I'm not struck like that. Neo, like I mean, I've been around these people, so it doesn't go crazy. But I let it progress.
Rappers that rap about the shit that they rap about, they don't live.
Everything from the
neither do you, Kakashi, but we'll get to you in a little bit.
Cars that they don't really own, to the houses that are actually Airbnbs. All of it is fake. And it's because rap is one of the only industries where acting like you're rich can actually make you rich.
If niggas think you rich, they give you more money. But if they think you broke, nigga, they ain't giving you shit. They want you to stay broke with them.
All these rappers.
That is true. And point taken again, I am true to myself again. This chain does not mean I'm rapping nothing or music, whatever. It has a symbol to my family. This is my family crest, literally is my family crest in that regard. But again, this doesn't got to do nothing with money and being stuff like in that regard. I'm just happy I got as far as I can, and I'm an independent music label and artist. And for the people out there, I apologize for the cursing and stuff like that, but I gotta prove his point in that regard. So sorry for me. I should have told you to be careful of this. There's cursing and word and all stuff, but I'm trying to prove a point right now and bring the receipts up.
And the more their fans are able to buy into these characters, the more money they make. And that's why even once they obtain all this wealth, their personas, their lifestyles, and personalities they portray online only get faker. For instance, let's just take two of the biggest gangster rappers out right now, Meek Mill and Lil Durk. Both of these multi-millionaires rap about guns, violence, and spending till they can't spend anymore, perpetuating a lifestyle to their fans that they don't actually live.
Why are you doing bunny hops, Meek? Because you got your ass beat in tennis.
In all reality, they're not in the fucking trenches anymore. They live in these big old mansions where their closet is literally the size of my room. And don't get me wrong, I love the music. I definitely love the fuckery. But I'm able to see that it's all just entertainment. It's obviously all a facade. You'd be a damn fool to think that multi-millionaires who came from absolutely nothing are still willing to throw away their life after making it out. Like, I'm not saying that none of them are real.
Well, we found out with Quavo, is it Quavo or whatever, the Young Migos? He found out the hard way. Rest in peace, but sorry. That was kind of stupid. You make all that money, you still do that stupid crap? Whatever.
I'm just saying that a vast majority of them aren't. Hell, look at Gunna and the rest of YSL. They were supposedly the realest rappers in the industry. However, they became the one very thing that they hated the most. A snitch! Because as soon as they got the chance, they quite literally all snitched on Young Thug.
YSL is a music label and a gang.
Shit, slide through that murder shit,
Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
And don't get me wrong, I definitely would have snitched too. Trust me, I wouldn't have spent not a single day in jail. But what makes it ironic for him to do it is because Gunna actually claimed to be a gangster.
I'm real level crip, you know what I'm saying? The slimiest crip you ever met.
And he used his gang, YSL, to further his career. It's essentially what made him the millionaire he is today. And to make it 10 times worse, Gunna and Young Thug actually have a song named Take It to Trial.
No way I can snitch.
But as you already saw, Gunna definitely didn't take anything to trial. He snitched on him. Snitched on a man that he once called his twin. It's hypocrisy at its finest.
Yep.
See, at the end of the day, to me, rappers are just entertainers. They're actors. You can't really take what they say seriously. But unfortunately, most of their brain dead fans will never understand that because social media has created a false reality where not only rappers, but quite literally everyone only show themselves at the very best points in their life.
Whole lot of race, man. Whole lot jumping jacks.
So that's why one-hit wonders like YK Osiris try their absolute hardest to make it seem like they're important by doing anything to be associated and have pictures with some of the biggest rappers in the industry.
And just like most of y'all would never heard of me rapping and stuff, I never heard of this guy rapping.
It seemed like all these people were his genuine friends and he was living such an affluent life. However, the truth will always come to light.
The baby don't fuck with me no more. Drake don't fuck with me no more. Nobody fucks with Osiris. So why the fuck I keep living? People look at me as a clown. Nigga, I'm a talented person, but that doesn't matter, bro. I don't drop my music. I don't do shit.
In reality, his rapper friends treated him like a joke. All of his flexing online didn't matter because in the industry, people didn't respect him.
You look like a suitcase, YK. You look like a fucking suitcase. You look like a suitcase.
He was hanging around all these celebrities, but you started to kind of notice that he was the only one being exposed for owing them money. Osiris once owed Drake $60,000, he owed Lil Baby $5,000, and he also owed Young Thug money too. However, before this breakdown on social media, he made it seem like everything was just fine, portraying to everyone online like he was still the man. He bragged about buying $300,000 worth of clothes. He also bragged about paying $1,500 for his weekly haircuts.
I get a haircut every 3 days.
And yeah, that all sounded good until you realized that this was really his mentality.
I always been like, if you don't got it, act like you got it.
So that's exactly what Osiris did, because back in 2019, after his biggest song Worth It came out,
man, I went broke so goddamn quick, man.
But he felt pressure to try and keep up with his image on social media, and most importantly, he wanted to keep up with all of his rapper friends, which is why he owed everyone money.
What did you owe Drake money for?
Basketball.
And what do you owe Lil Baby for? Why do you owe so many people money?
In real life, he was broke. However, he continued to portray a fake lifestyle to everyone online. And look, I'm not saying this to make fun of him or be a dickhead, even though he makes it incredibly easy to. YK Osiris is just a prime example of why obtaining fame and money won't solve all your problems.
The biggest drug is fame.
You could think of the most famous person you know.
And that is true. Even to Kevin Hart said it as well. Because again, he was never a famous person. He's a short guy. A lot of women never go after him. He got married. I'm not knocking him. He got married, and his wife was pregnant. He cheated on his wife. Even though the years before that, he said, I would never do it. I got too much stuff to lose. He did it anyway. Because women were just throwing coochie to this man because of his height. Just, you know, a lot of women like, oh, I don't want to date a guy less than 6 feet, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Fame is a nasty drug. And that's the same thing they perpetuate on social media. A lot of the people you see living this great lifestyle on social media, I would say 75% of them don't. Including if they're younger than 30, I think it's 90% of them don't live that lifestyle. But they want to portray that because they want to keep you young, dumb, and stupid.
know, and even they have insecurities. Think of the most wealthy people in the world, and even they have something that they're hiding too.
That motherfucker is crazy, right? Look how pale he is.
No one you see online is fully transparent, which is why it baffles me that people can look at a rapper like this and think that he's actually living the life that he raps about.
I fuck with savages, you a fuck boy, you can't hang.
Meet Slim Jesus, the Hamilton, Ohio native that took over Chicago
Slim Jesus. What do y'all come up with these names?
Drill in 2015 for a short period with his song that you just heard named Drill Time, where he talks about, you know, the usual, catching bodies, drugs, and having a lot of guns. He tried to sell this tough gangster street persona to his audience online and surprisingly managed to fool the industry for a good couple of months.
You know how we rockin', we out here on Frank Block, bitch. Where the fuck y'all at? Pull up, bitch.
Although it was extremely obvious that this goofball ass nigga was a fraud, no one was able to confirm it yet because he was just getting in the industry. So with his song Drill Time blowing up, it actually created a lot of positive attention for him. I mean, everybody was talking about Slim Jesus, and people like Birdman and Diddy even wanted to sign him. However, unfortunately, he ruined everything for himself. Honestly, he might have the quickest rise and fall of anyone I've ever covered.
But you know what? I respect the man for telling the truth, though. That's what I respect the man for.
Because at the end of 2015, during an interview with DJ Vlad, Slim Jesus spilled all the beans. He let the whole world know who he really was.
Come to TurboTax.
Again,
and
I respect the man for telling the truth.
Do your taxes.
Was.
You know, when you listen to your music, there's a lot of street stories.
So you better have your gun when we pop up.
Do you have a criminal record at all?
Nah, I'm straight.
Like, how involved were you street-wise in terms of...
For the most part on the street shit, like, I'm not out here catching bodies and shit, obviously. Like, I'm fucking smart.
He finally admitted to the blatant fucking obvious. The lifestyle of pure violence and chaos that he displayed to the public was once again all fake. Big surprise, the nigga that looks like the evil version of Eminem was faking it all along. And that paired with the fact that he lacked actual musical talent was a reason he instantly became a meme. You can't be a Chicago drill artist from the suburbs, so just as quick as his career started, it ended. It all crumbled to the ground in just a matter of months.
Support real hip hop, bitch.
But one thing you kind of have to respect about Slim Jesus is that when asked, he told the truth. Yes, He portrayed a fake lifestyle to the public, but at least he wasn't living in complete denial. And
I don't think in Chicago, I don't think the man want to catch, you don't catch your bodies. He don't want his body to be one of the people who got caught.
That's why I respect him a lot more than other artists like Soulja Boy and 6ix9ine, because these two artists right here are definitely living in complete and utter denial. And I'm lumping these two clowns together because they're actually a lot more similar than you would think. Soulja Boy isn't a snitch, but the one thing they do have in common is that they both spark fake beefs with other artists in order to remain relevant when their music just isn't cutting it anymore.
Yep. My music is trash.
The purest example of this is when 6ix9ine got exposed for trying to pay Lil Durk $3 million to fake beef with him.
That bitch ass nigga label called me. Somebody gave me $3 million to keep trolling with this nigga, right? So I ain't gonna never respond to this nigga ever fucking again, right?
And honestly, this shouldn't come as a shock to anyone because literally everything is fake about 6ix9ine. Everything from his teeth to his hair, and most importantly, the lifestyle that he rapped about was all fake. See, 6ix9ine understood that in order for him to have a successful rap career, he also needed a gang around him for protection. So that's exactly why he joined the 9 Trey Bloods.
2, 2, 3, halfway up, close that. Some gang buck that friendly that.
He funded all their gang activities, and in return, they gave 6ix9ine protection. Most importantly, though, they gave him all the confidence in the world to start up fake beefs with rappers like Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and Casanova.
Fuck all them niggas. Fuck y'all niggas talking about, nigga. This fucking Treyway, nigga.
Because anytime he threatened to shoot one of these rappers, 6ix9ine didn't have to go do it. He just paid his gang to do it. However, he betrayed to the world that he was just some sort of super gangster, and ironically called out every other rapper for being.
I remember all this stuff when he would keep blowing up, and I listened to music. It was, I'm sorry, his music was trash because I didn't understand what the hell he was saying. 1, 2, and I was like, really? Really? You talking all this gangster stuff, whatever? Oh, and I'm not gonna be a snitch. I'm gangster, man. I'm real, blah, 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 blah. Okay, then the story happens.
But when they all got caught up by the police, you already know what happened. He snitched on them, threw everyone under the bus, wiped his hands clean of the gang like he had no involvement in the fuckery, like he wasn't the one fueling it. 6ix9ine involved countless amounts of people into his pointless beefs in order to improve his career. But when he got caught, he shitted on all the people that helped him become so big. And when he removed the snitching aspect of it, Soulja Boy is currently doing the exact same thing. Since he can't make good music anymore, Soulja Boy now sits in his mansion and randomly starts fake beefs with other rappers in order to keep his name relevant.
And the thing about it, the kid was Soulja Boy, which again, you know, for me being a gamer, when he did the whole stupid stuff about the gaming stuff, which was an idiotic thing to do in the first place, trying to do a fake ass console. My thing is this: you have a mansion, you smart enough to pay it off. I give you, plus up on that. Live your life, all right. Let it go. All right, let it go. If I had a mansion and I paid it off, I'd be living, chilling, relaxing. I wouldn't be worrying about nothing at all. Shout out to my boy Triple again. Hey Trip, if I might send you after this, I might send you a quick link chat after the fact, so you go to Google chat. Okay. Anyway.
Violence, nigga. Fuck you talking about murder, destruction, death, and destruction and mayhem.
Why would you do that? That's exactly what's messing up the black community right now. Destruction, violence. You be promoting that? Are you an idiot? And again, he goes out doing this, and you know, this just
wow, what a waste. The poor children.
Exactly.
He said this dumbass shit about a month ago in an attempt to try and spark up a fake beef with NBA Youngboy because of Youngboy's Stop the Violence campaign.
It's the bigger side of life. Stop the violence.
Obviously, this campaign had nothing to do with Soulja Boy's dumbass, yet he decided to prop his phone up and yell on Instagram Live about it.
I'm one of the last straight rappers in the game, nigga. We promoting beef, we promoting violence.
It's like he's just begging for attention. Keep in mind, this is a 30-year-old man that was once actually the face of hip-hop. And now the same man is sitting in a multi-million-dollar mansion where he's promoting violence while the people in the hood are begging for it to stop. You just have to see the hypocrisy in that. Soulja Boy obviously isn't the big bad gangster that he portrays to be online. And I'm not just talking on my ass either. A couple weeks ago, I did a poll and even y'all agree with me. To be honest, he's a fucking clown. He's just an actor starring in a movie where he's the main character and no one else matters at all. It's crazy how some of the biggest and loudest voices can unfortunately end up being frauds. And believe it or not, but the most fraudulent man of them all is actually Rick Ross.
Oh, and I got receipts for this son of a gun. Oh boy. Woohoo!
Because he's the only one on this list that has ever been accused of his whole identity being fake.
I'm not denying a man can rap and do his stuff. I have listened to some Rick Ross's music and I bumped it. So I'm not denying that at all. But again, this whole thing is about how the media trick these young minds and trick a lot of people to think these things.
Everything from his rap name to his backstory was all allegedly stolen from someone else, essentially meaning that Rick Ross isn't actually Rick Ross. The big man that raps about his criminal past to being this big old drug lord didn't actually live that life at all.
Technically, he's never sold drugs.
Because the real Rick Ross isn't a rapper.
The rapper had already took my name, you know, and used it and didn't do jack shit for me.
Meet the man who Rick Ross stole his whole identity from. A man known as Freeway Ricky Ross, who was a big-time drug kingpin all the way back in 1982 with a huge infatuation for cocaine.
So when my friend introduced me to cocaine for the first time, I just fell in love with it.
And by 1985, Freeway Ricky had claimed to be making anywhere from $1 million to $3 million a day from selling mass amounts of cocaine. But of course,
point taken again. The government, here's the thing. The government put, weed and crack and all this stuff in the neighborhood, in the hoods and all that stuff. Okay. Here's the thing though. You remember I said before, you can control your hand. The only thing I can control is my hands and my feet. That's all I can control. Crack? No, I'm not gonna be taking crack. How about some drugs, man? I'll give you free. It messed people up. I don't want that. You know how much time I got pressure when I was young to smoke weed and stuff like that? And I didn't thank my mom and my grandma for putting the fear of God in me. I never did. I never smoked weed. I never puffed a cigarette. Never tried none of that stuff because it just didn't look cool to me. But that's just me.
Openly able to tell this story, you already know what happened.
Freeway Ricky helped trigger an epidemic of human misery.
Ricky unfortunately went to prison after getting caught trying to buy 100 kilos of coke from an undercover police officer. And on September 5th in 1990, he got sentenced to 27 years in prison. But years later, around 2006, while he was still in jail, he noticed that there was a bigger, fatter person stomping around claiming to actually be Rick Ross.
I had a book club while I was there, so this youngster brought me a magazine and they had the guy on there with his mouth open and all these gold chains and a beard, and he was saying that his name was Rick Ross.
And at the time, this person was also rapping about his past of being a huge cocaine drug lord that amassed millions of dollars from his drug empire. Sounds pretty fucking familiar, right? Well, Freeway Ricky Ross coincidentally thought the same damn thing. So after he got out of prison in 2009, just a year later, Ricky filed a lawsuit against the rapper Rick Ross for stealing his image, name, and likeness and using it to fuel his extremely successful rap career. He claimed that the rapper Rick Ross stole his name and identity because Ricky's actual government name is Rick Ross. So obviously it started some confusion, and the question became,
where you get that name from, man? I got on the name like 10 years ago when it wasn't about that.
Rick Ross continually denied that his name derived from Ricky Ross, and in court he even said that his name actually came from a mispronunciation of his high school nickname, Big Boss. And as unbelievable of an excuse that was, Ricky's $10 million lawsuit against the rapper Rick Ross didn't stick.
Did you lose the lawsuit?
Both of us lost. He lost about $1.5 million, and so the judge ordered me. I'm supposed to give him a $500,000 back. So if they ever come for it, I'm gonna give it to him in quarters.
You can't believe it. Both of them lost. That didn't kill that.
However, Rick Ross definitely didn't leave the situation scratch-free, because during the court case, Ricky exposed Rick Ross's real past to being a prison guard. Ricky let the whole world know that in 1995, he was actually a correctional officer at a prison in Florida for 18 months, meaning that he would go to the prison and lock the real drug dealers up, which is completely at odds with his drug lord past that he liked to rap about.
He raps about selling drugs.
Right.
And he never sold drugs.
So this stigma stuck with him for the rest of his career. And every time he was asked about being a CO, he kind of just ran around the question.
Was Rick Ross in his lifetime a corrections officer?
Rick Ross done did it all to get money.
It's a hilarious and crazy fucking story. A prison guard took the name and identity of a drug kingpin, and it actually worked. Because in all reality, the rap industry is just about faking it till you make it. So if you want to hear more about fraudulent rappers,
And again, is NCO is a channel if you want to hear more stuff like that. But I want to prove the point of it. It's time to hurt now because I want to show you something about how this is ending. Because now, let's check this out. This is Rick Ross in Houston, right? The man was a boss and everybody was talking about it. Oh, look at this now. This is Rick Ross in Houston now.
We got motherfucking turkey legs on us. We got the motherfuckers. What kind of turkey legs?
People are walking out of walking out of this of Rick Ross's own thing. Ain't that messed up? Pretending whatever. Now people are walking out. They don't want to. And I always understood. I never understood that. They said that with Tiffany Haddish when she had a captive audience. Tiffany Haddish is an actor. I don't watch a lot of her shows and stuff like that. Good for her. People like it. That's all good. I'm not knocking her for that. But she's not a stand-up comedian. That's the thing. And when she had she had literally had people at a New Year's Eve where they got drinks and she gave drinks for free and everything. New Year's Eve, where people was leaving her comedy show at a club where they were giving free drinks and you could get wasted and have fun. They were leaving her show at around 11:30 because that's what it was. And that's kind of messed up. A lot of people just seeing, nah. And again, Rick Ross could have rapped. The guy, he's not in mumble rappers or whatever like that. But again, the shine happens. So I have not produced an album in 2000 basically almost 10 years. Sadly, yeah. So am I gonna be my album that I'm trying to do this year? Will it do great? Will it do great? I don't know. I'm just gonna do it, put it out there. But I ain't faking it till I'm making it. I'm just me. I'm just me. I'm just keeping it real. And that's why I showed you all these things right here. I show you what in tonight's show, if you jumping in later on, because I see a lot of people jumping in right now, we are at 25,600 people. Shout out to everybody out there. In tonight's show, we talked about the State of the Union a little bit, just a little bit to get in there under that. But we also talked about how the media lied and how they program people to get in this spot, the Great Society and everything. And you have the quote of what Lyndon B. Johnson said. And just like as Malcolm X said at the beginning, like, why do the black people in America need leaders? We don't. We should not. We should have a nuclear family. We should not be doing drugs. We should not be trying to do all this stupid stuff that you just saw a while ago. Because again, all these gangs are, oh, I'm a real G and all that stuff. And there are some who are, but not a lot of them. They fake it till they make it. But these kids are tattooing stuff, whatever, and the kids are getting stupider at the point. Okay? They really are. I think, let me see if I can find that one video I was talking about when I said, hey, let me see if I can find that video about the dumb kids. Because it is the school system, how it's failing. Remember, I played a video of how the schools, how the schools are failing with the Great Society, how it has failed people. Right? So let me see if I can find it quick. I'm trying to. Okay.
Santa Cruz versus.
Of course. Yeah, I have a commercial. I didn't find a clip, so I'll run that and then we call it a night. I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this. How this, like I said, proving my point. Proving my point on that. All right. Let's roll the clip. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Baltimore City is facing a devastating reality as the latest round of state test scores are released.
Our Project Baltimore team analyzed the results, and as Chris Papps reports, there's a shocking number of city schools where not a single student is doing math at grade level.
What the fuck? I see the brightness of Baltimore kids.
It's now been more than a year.
We're not living up to our potential.
Since Giovanni Patterson made national headlines by suing Baltimore City schools for failing to properly educate generations of students.
We, the taxpayer, are funding our own demise.
Patterson was born here. He has seen the failures firsthand. But what Project Baltimore just told him at first rendered him speechless.
My immediate reaction is take your kids out of these schools.
The Maryland State Department of Education has released the 2022 state test results, known as MCAP, Maryland Comprehensive Assessment Program. Baltimore City's math scores were the lowest in the state. Just 7% of 3rd through 8th graders tested proficient in math.
Really? 7%?
That means 93% could not do math at grade level. But that's not all we found. Project Baltimore combed through scores at all 150 city schools where the state math test was given. We found in 23 Baltimore City schools, there were 0 students who tested proficient in math.
Wow, what a waste. The poor children.
Exactly. Holy crap.
Not a single student.
Is this why you filed your lawsuit, because of outcomes like this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It just sounds like these schools now have turned into essentially babysitters with no accountability.
Yep.
This is the future of our city. Like we got to change this.
Among the list of 23 schools, here's how the numbers break down. 10 of them are high schools. 8 are elementary schools. 3 are middle high schools. And 2 are elementary middle schools.
High schools and middle schools? Really?
Oh, no. Jeez. Exactly 2,000 students in total took the state math test at these schools, and not one could do math at grade level.
These kids can't do math. You're not preparing them to buy groceries. You're not preparing them to do accounting.
I remember the video I did when in Chicago, when again, white leftist progressive women was like, teachers was like, yeah, let's make it that you graduate with a 20% grade. You could graduate high school, you graduate high school with an F. What? Because a lot of black and brown kids are not passing. No, you make it more difficult and keep it back. As I said before, No Child Left Behind, which was under George Bush, as I did in the last video, was the worst thing one of the worst things he did other than Iraq War and all this stuff. That's one of the things I hated that Bush did. You should left behind if you're stupid. You should left behind if you ain't know what's going on. Don't pass them just because, oh, we gotta keep up with school. It demoralized them. I'd rather be telling me that I'm dumb and I work hard to fix the thing than pass on, and then when it goes into reality, in the real world, I'm an idiot and I screw up my life. And again, that's what the parties want. The banks want that too. So you can go make these stupid ass loans. Oh, I'm gonna get a degree in a stupid job that I don't need a degree in, but I'm gonna get a degree in it, and it costs $120,000.
You're not preparing them to read contracts and negotiate salaries.
Exactly.
We made the largest investment in public education by any governor in our state's history.
Governor Wes Moore, last week, in his first State of the State address, made his feelings about public education clear. It's one of his top priorities.
We can no longer separate our vision for economic prosperity from the duty to make Maryland's public schools the best in the nation.
After his State of the State address, Project Baltimore reached out to Moore's office, asking to speak with him about his plan to improve education. Before becoming governor, Moore lived in Baltimore. We wanted to ask him how he plans to help city students.
Oh, I want to know too.
Especially those who attend these 23 schools. Governor Moore's office did not respond, but...
Oh! Shocking! Surprised! Oh, I am not surprised by that.
City schools did send us a statement with steps it's taking to improve math scores, including professional development for teachers, summer learning, and an extended learning period at the end of the day.
What the fuck?
Expanding math professional development for teachers? How about you find teachers who could do the damn math? What the hell is going on there, man? Summer learning to focus academic recovery and literacy and math. How about just teach them? And again, throw away the stupid critical race crap. Throw away the dumb stuff about the sexuality. Get it out of there. Again, you see it. Get back to the simple, the 3 R's. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. Math, let's get back to those. Let's forget about, oh, because I'm black, I should be like that. No. 1 + 1 = 2. Good, Johnny. Let's keep it going. 2 + 2 = 4. 4 + 4 = 8. Instead of the dumb thing when they're doing with critical, not critical race and common core math. Oh, 2 + 3 sounds, 2 + 3 feels like 6. None of that crap.
Statement said, we're confident these instructional strategies will help us regain the momentum and progress we experienced before the pandemic.
0%.
Oh, yeah, right.
What are you preparing these kids for?
Thank
you.
Are we
expecting these kids to kill off themselves? I mean, we see the number of teen shootings happening just this year.
Thank you.
What jobs are we preparing these kids for?
None.
That's the future.
We're preparing them to be useful idiots.
In the state testing data, we found 3 additional Baltimore City schools with 0 students proficient in math. 1 is a school for incarcerated youth. The other 2 are for students with disabilities. We did not include them in the list of 23 schools. It's also worth pointing out, we found an additional 20 schools that had just 1 or 2 students who were proficient in math.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
1 or 2 students in 20 more schools? So you telling me almost 50 schools don't know how to do first grade math. What did I say? They're teaching the kids to be dumber. And when you're dumb, you make dumb decisions. And they want you to be a useful idiot. That's why we got to do that. Parents, you gotta take an active role. Ladies, stop opening your legs to have these children, and then get on social and work with those women. Not all women do this, I know that. And men, stop putting your penis in stuff and walking away from your kids. Not all men do this, because I've proven that with Straight No Chases Daily. Check it out again, 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But yeah, that nonsense is ridiculous. If you have a kid, be a parent. Be a true parent. Don't give them. Even the family members I've seen now, my family members and stuff, they're giving their kids a phone. They should never have a phone. I am actively talking to me and my wife. Actively, get kids, whatever. We're not giving our phone. We're not giving our kid a smartphone. Ain't happening. Not happening at all. We're getting them a jitterbug because we ain't playing that. I'm not playing that because that's crazy. That is crazy setup right there for this stuff. That is horrible. And that's just one class. California's doing this. So again, all these are in, what are they in? Democratic control sectors of the country. I'm not saying that they're not, and also in Republican as well too, but it's more Democrats than that. These schools are teaching our kids to be a straight, just to have no brains. And again, the people who purchase this or whatever are the bourgeoisie, the ones who want to keep them dumb so they have the power, and they talk all the stuff. Oh, we're good doing this. We're doing this for the kids and for the people and everything, for the black people. And no, they're not. That's why we're Asians. You know what? They make sure their kids are proficient in a lot of stuff, and they're doing it. And sadly now, that's why they have the discrimination for affirmative action, because now Asians are getting kicked out of school. Passing a kid who does not know nothing is not helping him. You're making him dumber, and you're making his life harder. All right? That's why a lot of these girls and boys are doing this nonsense. This is crazy and very dangerous, okay? Be active in your child's life. Don't let them use the TV as much. Don't let them use the phone as much. Be active and do something with the kid. Yes. And again, sorry, single moms, I'm sorry. Again, 80% of criminals that's in jail are through single moms. And there was a statistic that came up, which I'll put up there. Single dads, again, is a numbers game, not a statistic. It's just a statistic, but a numbers game. Single dads have the same proficiency of children not doing bad, not going to jail, as much as two-parent household, mother and father. So it falls on that. We gotta control these young boys. We gotta stop making young boys feel that they're not doing good, that their daddy ain't crap. If their daddy ain't crap, whatever. But don't implant it in their heads. So these boys will be like that. Stop having. It's literally that. Again, not all single moms does that. I know that. My mom didn't do that, me and my sister, again, it is the, we call it. We're basically the exception to the rule. Get a family. If you don't want to get a family, then be by yourself. That's all I can say. That's the best thing as well too. But I only do this for black people like this. Stop letting the media, let the music, the TV, the movies, all that stuff. Stop letting them control you and your kids. All right? Multiple people. Remember, Ice Cube 3 years ago said, "Oh, we gotta go with a contract." Okay, Donald Trump talked to Ice Cube. His people talked to Ice Cube. Joe Biden said, "When I get president, I'll talk to you." It's been 3 years. He has not talked to Ice Cube. Stop letting them use your votes for nothing, okay? Again, I'm not saying you gotta vote for Republican either, but damn well not a Democrat either. Try something else. That's the whole point. If it keeps it's bad and bad and bad again, you try something else. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, getting the same results. What do you expect? And we've heard ourselves for the last 70 years, as Lyndon B. Johnson said, give me the vote and I'll have these N's voting Democrat for the next 200 years. Again, we prove him right. Well, I ain't, because like I said, I started voting like straight up for the Democrat Party, all that stuff. And again, I was a Democrat, never went to Republican, went to Libertarian, and that's what it is. But anyway, thank you guys out there for joining us and enjoying us and being with Project Open Mic, of course. Remember out there that people are stupid, individuals are smart. Be the smart individual. Remember, evil comes in all shapes, size, color, creed, height, sex, occupancy, work, line of work, location, country. Evil is evil, no matter what it is. I don't care what it is. They're evil in everything, and they're good at everything. You gotta make the choice in that guy. Remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your neighbors, and then you take care of your community. That's the best way to build this up. In that regard. All right. With that said, again, remember, check out Straight No Chasers Daily on the YouTube and also on Tempo FM. Again, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 to 8 o'clock Eastern in the morning. Hit the subscribe bell, notification, you'll be there. And let's have a conversation about some of the stuff that we see daily. And again, we'll try next week to, like I said, we're gonna get the side chat back. I sorry for those guys, but we're gonna try to get everybody back to the side chat in that regard. So again, hope you guys are doing well. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Don't drink and drive. Please don't do that. Have a safe Super Bowl and hope your team wins. With that said, see you next time. Project Open Mic next week, Thursday. Same time, same place, 9 o'clock Eastern. Peace.